immensity of the occasion, and President DeYoung, you may speak on this also if you'd like to add, but we have a student here at Towson, a senior, Akosua Hawkins, will be offering a rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing instead of our traditional fight song for today. President DeYoung, would you like to say anything before we yield the floor to her? If she stepped away, that's okay. All right. If not, Akosua, the floor is all yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to sing the first two stanzas of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
Everyone unmute and give a little round of applause. Thank you so much. Woo! Thank you so much.
That was amazing. Can we do this every GA?
Y'all prefer that to the fight song? Okay. But thank you so much, Akosua. That was absolutely amazing. You have a beautiful, beautiful voice. And thank you for using that for good today. So now I will share the agenda for today. Just 1 second, everybody. Let's see. Okay. All right. We'll now move into roll call. Attorney General Robinson.
Okay. Treasurer Eagle.
Present.
Vice President DeVoe.
Present.
President DeYoung.
Present.
Chief of Staff Ambush.
Present.
Director Nduka.
Present.
Assistant Director Walton.
Present.
Assistant Director Bello.
Present.
Director Whiteside. Director Fishkin.
Present.
Director Triskopka.
Present.
Director Perot. Director Kapoor. Assistant Director Ferguson.
Present.
Solicitor General Whiting.
Present.
Director White.
Present.
Director Moody.
Present.
Director Diame.
Present.
Director Brown. Director Kemp.
Present.
Director Hogarth. Assistant Director Banks. Representative Blumenau. Director Siddiq.
Present.
Assistant Director Truesdale. Pro Temp Wheeler.
Present.
Senator Dixon.
Present.
Senator Watts.
Present.
Senator Kinsey.
Present.
Senator Goodman.
Present.
Senator Harding,
Present.
Senator Tessie,
Present.
Senator Teklu,
Present.
Senator Elam,
Present.
Senator Rink,
Present.
Senator Thaxton,
Present.
Chief Justice Foreman,
Present.
Deputy Justice Sherman,
Present.
Justice Egunine.
Present.
Thank you, everyone.
Amazing. We'll now move into approval of the minutes. Are there any amendments to the last meeting's minutes? Hearing none, we'll consider them approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? There should be two. Yes.
Sorry. I move that we break Senate rules to review Finance Bill.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. That motion will be when we go to unfinished business. So just hold on to that for a second. And Representative Blumenauer is present, Attorney General Robinson. And I recommend that someone makes a motion to strike all communications today, unless anyone has any objections and would like to share something urgent. Please speak now.
Well, this is Senator Goodman. I move that we strike all communications unless any objections exist.
Mr. President DeVoe, I'm sorry to break rules of order here, but Dr. Hurt and I would like to address the group if possible. So if you could just keep my report line, that would be greatly appreciated.
Great, awesome.
I move that we erase all communications except advisors' remarks for today.
Is there a second?
Senator Rinka, second.
Is there any discussion or unreadiness? Hearing none, we'll move into a vote. All in favor of striking all communications excluding advisors' remarks? There are 10 senators present today, including Pro Temp Wheeler. All opposed? Abstaining? Oh, not including Pro Temp Wheeler. Okay, got it. Alrighty. Director Kapoor, do you have the voting count, please?
It's 11 in favor.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right. I also recommend, for the sake of the minutes, that someone makes the motion to amend the fight song in the agenda.
Senator Rinka, accept that recommendation.
All right. Is there a second?
Senator Goodman, I second that.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none. All in favor of amending the fight song to lift every voice and sing today? Thank you so much. All opposed? Abstaining? Director Kapoor?
$11 in favor.
Thank you so much. All right, are there any other amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, we have 2 guest speakers today. Correct me if I'm wrong in pronouncing this, Imara Roos mentoring program?
It's Imara Rose.
Oh, okay, Imara Rose.
Yeah, it looks like Rose, but it's Rose.
Okay, Imara Rose, excuse me, we'll start, and then we'll have Katie Murray from New Student and Family Programs. We have Tommy Reed presenting for Imara Rose today. And just so the guest speakers know, given all the agenda items we have today, if you could keep your remarks to 2 to 3 minutes, that would be ideal. But thank you so much in advance. And the floor is all yours, Tommy.
Hi, everybody. Just like a quick, a little bit about me. I'm a student at Morgan State University, and I'm here on behalf of Imara Rose. I didn't think it was going to be 2 to 3 minutes, so let me try to get straight into it. Let me share my screen here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a part of the MRO's mentorship program, and this is pretty much us recruiting volunteers. So this is just an overview. We're going to go through who we are, what we do, our impact, and how to get involved. So this is who we are. We're 4 girls of color by women of color. Our organization was launched in 2011 at Eleanor Roosevelt High School by Halima, and her idea, her creative mind was to inspire, empower, and uplift Black and brown girls. Imara is Swahili for strong and resolute, and the key characteristics here are our Black and brown girls, and they must embody to excel in a society where they continue to face countless systematic barriers. And Rose, it looks like Rose, but it's Rose, and it is a pun from the school's name and a representative of the flower, which denotes beauty. Our mission is to assist high school girls with actualizing and maximizing their greatness by empowering them with the knowledge, skills, and social capital necessary to break through systematic barriers. That's our overall mission. I'm kind of trying to go quick because you got 2 to 3 minutes. Our vision is to have a circle of community, transformation, and success for each girl who participates in our program. We are a volunteer-based organization designed with a designation of a holistic approach and the power of representation to support our mentees' personal, academic, and professional development. What do we do exactly? We're here to inspire, empower, and uplift these young women. Our mentees will pretty much experience a Mentor Mondays, which are workshops focused on different topics from self-awareness to health, and pretty much designed to support mentees in their personal development. We have college and career readiness workshops and field trips. Of course, that's pretty much said in the name, college and career readiness. We're all college students, so we're trying to help them get to that point that we're at right now. Parent partnership is creating a synergy and working collaboratively with parents to maximize our impact. We also need the help of parents. We have a big and little, this is kind of like a big sister, little sister program, and each mentor is assigned a mentee to provide one-on-one support and one-on-one help with their mentor and their mentee. And sister social. So these are like fun activities that will take place outside of the classroom, kind of like think maybe Netflix and chill or a movie night or something like that, just to bring everyone together as a whole. And community service. So partnerships with local organizations to give back to our community. This is what I'm doing. This is my community service. And we would love for you guys to join us in doing that as well. Our impact. So of course we have workshops, field trips, mentees, all of these that pretty much we need help. That's why we're here. We need help for you guys to help us impact these young women. And these are just some things that they said with their experience. And we're just gonna skip through that. And how to get involved. So that's why I'm here, to get you guys involved. So you can get involved by being a community partner, by helping us maximize our impact, by amplifying awareness, recruiting volunteers, and or fundraising. A mentor, so young women of color, ages from 18 to 30, that's who we're looking for, who work directly with mentees to support their personal, academic, and professional development, which that is a time commitment. So here's the commitment right here. Monday and or Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5, that will be the weekly workshops. Our big littles are required to have about 90 minutes a month in regular communication without the week, and then twice per semester we're requiring a sister social. Or you can join the executive board, which is what I'm currently on. And we're looking for passionate women of color, ages 18 to 35 again, who work collaboratively collaboratively to co-create, coordinate, and facilitate all aspects of the program. So this is kind of like the background of the program. You're not working directly with a mentee, you're actually coordinating what the mentors and mentees do. So this is virtual, of course, in COVID. It's about 5 to 10 hours a week. You have to commit to monthly board meetings and monthly team meetings. We have a couple different positions under the executive board. So you can go under project management, you can go under the curriculum design area, looking for guest speakers or curriculum development, field trips. You can also join under membership engagement, which is reaching out, creating events, and operations. You can also join under program development, which is like research about the program, evaluations, any recommendations for the program to make it better. Of course, we're striving to elevate and not go down. Or community engagement, which is what I'm under. And it's outreach campaigns, doing things that I'm doing, strategic partnerships, and also event planning for the organization. And we have marketing, which is like graphic design, promotional strategy. You want to think social media when you think marketing. And then we have philanthropy, which is like grants, donations, partnerships, the money side. We do need funding. We are a nonprofit, so things like that. To apply, you can use this link. If anyone's interested, please leave your information in the chat box, and then we will be in contact with you shortly. And then this is our information. I hope I didn't run over the time. I know it's a lot of information, but I want to thank you guys for allowing us to present today. And I hope you guys find us interesting.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the crunch. It's been a full day, but
yeah.
thank you for the presentation. I see we have a couple of questions going on in the chat. Is the mentorship part 100% virtual?
No. The executive board is 100% virtual. The mentor, if you want a physical mentee, that part would not be virtual at all because you would have to do the weekly meetings and official socials. You actually have to meet that person.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. And then
you're welcome.
Chief of Staff Ambush, you had a question?
Yeah, so my question for you is, was SG the only group at Towson you all have advertised to? Because I can definitely think of some other student organizations that would love to hear from you all, and you might have students who are more than willing to be a part of your organization.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly every organization that we have, but if you can give me the information or you can just put it in the chat and I can like reach out to them and we can contact them to try to set up a meeting, I would really appreciate it.
Great. Looking. Are there any other questions? If not, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you all for the important work that you do. Thank you so much for that and have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
And Katie, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Hi, there's a lot of squares. But yes, the floor is all yours.
Very good. I'm going to try to share an image and hopefully that works. All right, famous question. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. So I wanted to take a few minutes and share with you all where we are with new student orientation in this cycle, and then open it up for any questions that you might have of me and new student and family programs. And so this year, the incoming students will go through virtual orientation. That is the required component. And so they will start with a pre-orientation module. It's available on our website now. Really walks them through everything. And I like to think of it more as a portal for students, for new students to really pull together all the pieces of the website into one location. And so then they can really get all of the information they need instead of having to search Towson's website and try to find all of that information. And then they'll go through a required virtual orientation. So this one is held via Zoom. And so for freshmen or first year students, that will be conducted with 2 orientation leaders. I know some of you are familiar with this as you did it last summer. That piece will remain the same, and we'll also have academic advising popping into those Zoom rooms to help explain how first year students were scheduled. And then for transfer orientation, they'll go through a brief small group at the outset and help us get some time to take attendance. And then they will meet with their academic advisors in their colleges and actually be advised and registered during that session. And so that one takes a little bit longer than the 2 hours. Really, as soon as they're finished advising and registering, that finishes and completes their virtual orientation component. This year, because we're in the transition back to TU, we will have opt-in in-person sessions available at the end of July. And so we're going to run 3 programs a day for the last 2 weeks in July. So one at 9 a.m., one at 1 p.m., and one at 5 p.m. These are similar to campus tours, but I'm trying to save campus tour language for admissions. And so campus navigation, tradition building, we're going to be around the tiger statues and really spend a lot of time outside helping the students navigate campus, with tabling happening in different areas where it makes sense. So hopefully outside of Burdick Hall, where you'll see campus rec and student activities and civic engagement, over in West Village with housing and residence life and some setup with the furniture so students can see what spaces they'll be moving into, and really trying to get them to navigate around campus and be able to have smaller group interactions to keep everybody safe, being outside, but really get to experience what TU is like, what we didn't get to give last summer as we were doing orientation. And then we'll conclude their orientation process. So we really want them to know about all 4 steps with Welcome to TU. And so Welcome to TU will kick off with move-in, which will start on Wednesday, August the 25th. And we'll have 2 days of first-year student move-in. Sophomores will get to move in on Friday. And so really trying to amp up the programming and still include some of those required components that we've had. So their FYE classes for first-year students, convocation, perhaps in multiple ceremonies, depending on how we get all of this scheduled and what meets safety requirements. And then lots of social programming, bringing back TU Takeover and Roar Rally, looking at outdoor locations with backup space indoors so that we can maximize the amount of people that can experience these programs and have a good time navigating campus and getting to know people, getting to know all the resources that are available. And so that is the flyby orientation view. And so I'm happy to take any questions with that. I will put in a quick plug if you're looking for some employment. I know most of you get busy at the beginning of the semester, but we are in desperate need of more applicants for our FYE leader position, and those close on Thursday. So if you know of anybody who would be great to help with incoming students, or you have some free time, that is a paid position that will be for those 5 days of Welcome to TU. So I'm seeing the chat flashing too.
Yeah, Chief of Staff Ambush, question, and then, question.
Yeah, so I did FYE 2 summers ago.
Mm-hmm.
My internship finishes right before FYE starts. So for those, could you go over the 5 days that FYE does it? And I wouldn't, if I applied and got the FYE position, I wouldn't have to do anything for FYE until that first day of training, right?
Right. And you wouldn't have any responsibilities until training starts, which we're still trying to figure out now that we have move-in dates, because we also have a makeup orientation on that first day of move-in. And so trying to figure out when things will happen, and will they be happening in person or a combo of in-person and virtual, because we did see how that helped. But the responsibilities would be primarily Friday and Saturday, with light responsibilities on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And then optional shifts to sign up for perhaps into the first week of classes as we figure out what that programming will look like.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Director Brown, comment?
Yeah, I know it's probably it's too late now, but I'm a 3rd year orientation leader. I enjoy the position a lot. So, I mean, if anyone's interested in becoming an orientation leader that's underclassmen, or even if you're up to a junior or senior, it's never too late. If it's a job you ever thought about doing. I've had a great experience. I learned something new about leadership every single time. So about team building, all that, it's a great experience, a learning experience. So definitely if you're interested, you should apply.
Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments for Katie? All All right. If not, if you could put your contact information in the chat. I meant to ask, or I guess our previous speaker flashed hers, but if you could, oh, I see more questions. Okay. Pro Temp Wheeler, question.
Yes, I'm not sure if you already mentioned this already because my audio was going in and out, but where do we go to apply or sign up to be orientation leader?
So we're done hiring for orientation leaders for this cycle, but if you go to towson.edu/orientation, you'll see the link to apply for our FYE position, and then we will open OL hiring and recruitment in November for the following summer.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and Senator Eaglin?
Okay, so I did apply to be a FYE leader, but I had a question about, like, if I got the CCA position, would I not be able to be a FYE leader anymore, or?
CCA is tricky. So you may still be able to. It will depend on the building and how the building chooses to schedule your RLC. So just keep us in the loop as you go through the FYE leader process, and we'll work with you because we know all these things are happening at the same time. So we want to make sure you get to maximize your involvement on campus, and we'll work with you as we can.
All right. Any other questions? All right. If not, Katie was gracious enough to put her email in the chat. So please take advantage of that if you have any other questions. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for your time. I love being here.
Oh, well, stay as long as you like, but you're free to go if you'd like.
Thank you.
All right. Now we will move into public participation in student concerns. Are there any student concerns today? I believe there were some questions that came in on the social media. Is Director Perot or Chief of Staff Ambush?
There was one tweet. Hold on. Sorry.
I believe there was a question I saw about what the role of the senator is also, unless you wanted to go first, Chief of Staff Ambush.
You can go first.
Okay, the role of the senator, it's outlined by the Election Commission. So if you're interested in running in the second round, there will be another round of elections to fill those vacancies because we need to have 25 senators to have a full Senate. Obviously, we operate without it, but ideally, the cap is 25. So as a senator, you are the liaison between student organizations student organizations and the Student Government Association. So we provide funding to student organizations. So a lot of that has to do with you communicating when Tiger Stripes deadlines are approaching, advocating for them when they request funding, things like that. You also are able to host events throughout the year. Because senators do not have line items in the SGA budget, that typically comes out of general initiatives, but you, in short, are a representative of the students, of student concerns. So you are the liaison. So in short, that is what it is. I know there was a question, I believe it came from someone on freshman council. If you're interested in coming to the Senate next year, please, we would encourage it. But yeah, so we wanted to answer that question. And then Chief of Staff Ambush.
Yeah, so this comes from a student and on our Twitter, and she was saying this is more relevant to the previous bill about group projects. She said, quote, "Do you think that completing group projects in a virtual setting provides a positive impact on your education?" And she was saying that framing of the question may be more convincing for a dean. So senators, when you're going over the bill, the student thought that sort of language would be more convincing to like the dean and the provost.
All right, amazing, thank you. And there was also a question about hiring in the geography department that was brought up this week with the provost during Director DMA and I's meeting with her. So just to share out so you all are aware of it though, there was a concern about President Schatzel and the provost's vocal commitment to diversity and hiring in professors and faculty and staff. So that's what was brought up. There apparently was a vacancy in the student. This is alleged. I didn't look into it. So this is exactly what the student shared, that there were 4 candidates being interviewed for this professor professor position, but they were all white persons. So that was of concern to that student, just because there was a vocal commitment to diversity in this regard. So in our conversation with the provost, we emphasized that while SGA and other student leadership has been involved in the processes for hiring, in the CSD as well as the VPSA and things like that, and in OIAE, we've seen that in student affairs. We're not as involved in the process, at least from the SGA side, in terms of academic hiring. So we raised that with her. And she also assured us that every hiring process has an inclusion advocate involved. So I'm not sure how we are involved with that person, but we are able to hopefully hold them accountable also once we find out who those persons are. But we just wanted to let you know, if you saw that question, that we were raising that and looking into it. But yeah, any other student concerns or public participation today? Okay, hearing none. We will now move into communications, advisors' remarks, and then we'll go to Dr. Hurt, unless you are going to yield your time.
So good afternoon, everyone. I was going to start by saying at one point I will yield my comments to Dr. Hurt. Knowing that the meeting started a little bit later than normal and there's obviously a lot of business to get done, I will do my best to keep my comments concise, in part because the conversation won't end today, or conversations won't end today. 2 hours ago, roughly, I had a list of things I wanted to run through, business related things, and they're still there in terms of like a list I can go through. But from a human and personal perspective, what we learned not that long ago has really touched me in different ways. And I really won't get into a lot of that because it's not necessarily the time, but I want to be a little bit vulnerable in the space because oftentimes you all hear from me and it's very business related. Some of you I have developed personal relationships with. Some of you I haven't been able to do that. And so when those that don't interface with me on a personal level, you really may only just know me as Advisor Bailey as opposed to my first name, which is Corey. And I'm this person, I'm that person, I'm a father, I'm a son, all those kinds of things that I have shared in the past. Today, I'm a human being that has seen a lot of things throughout his life, 43 years strong. And there are so many situations that I've witnessed throughout my lifetime that make today just a little bit different. And so when we started the meeting and Lift Every Voice and Sing was being sung, so sorry, I'm not using the right grammar. It brought tears to my eyes because there's just so much right now. And so, there's the Yusef Hawkins, Philip Pinnell, the Exonerated Five, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, of course, Rodney King, Amadou Diallo, and then all the other people that have been wrongly convicted and exonerated over the years. And I can go on and on. The list is way too long to read off, but, like names like Yusef Hawkins and Philip Pinnell go back to my youth in the late 80s, early 90s, the Exonerated Five, same thing. And so when I see what happened today and I learn about how this individual was held accountable for the wrongs that he committed, it doesn't necessarily bring joy, but it brings a sense of just like, I can breathe in the moment, but there's still work to be done. And so I've been in communication with friends and my fraternity brothers and stuff like that. And so instead of getting into business, I just wanted to let y'all know that for this very moment in time, I'm just able to breathe. And I'm able to at least tell my girls and my sons, like, there's maybe some hope out there because we've seen it, but I also know that other things may come up and it may not always look so bright. But for those of you that are maybe in the same place that I am, I want you to know that you're not alone. Because we're human beings before any of these positions. We're human beings before being even a student. We're people that deal with the realities of life in our own ways. And so even though I'm 43, doesn't mean I'm any more removed from this than you are. So I just want to just put that out there, because I think it's really helpful for you all to just sometimes understand, like, the professionals behind the scenes still deal with this and sometimes have a hard time. Like, I didn't know what to prepare for 2 hours ago. I didn't know where my comments would go. But I just thought it would be important to share at least where I'm at in my space, as opposed to getting into business. And so with all that said, I do want to pass it over to Dr. Vernon Hurt, who I believe has some thoughts that he wants to share as well. And once he's done, then my report will be done and we can move on or back on to business. So Dr. Hurt, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Corey. I'm going to be really brief because you've shared, so much. And I'll just kind of amend a comment that you made, that we're always human. We are always, diverse in our identities. And so no matter what our professional title might be, it doesn't change our humanity. And so this last week and really these last 2 days have been challenging. I know you all, have been carrying the weight, and it started for me yesterday. Most of you all know yesterday was the birthday of Freddie Gray. And so, it kind of, my mind started in that space as a Black man who has had moments with law enforcement that could have had an outcome that, would not have allowed me to be here in this moment. And then in my own history as a graduate student, it was 17 years almost to the day that I witnessed a Klan march on Cumberland Avenue in Knoxville, Tennessee, when I was a student. And so this week came with a lot of reminders of just the reality of the challenges of the hate, the racism, all the isms that we have experienced in this country. And about 2 hours ago, my stomach was in a complete knot because I didn't have a whole lot of hope. I'm going to be honest. I didn't have a whole lot of hope what the outcome would be. And so to see a moment of hope and see an opportunity for shift in our country was certainly an uplift. But I'm also reminded that it's a critical moment, but it's a moment. And just like me, there's many on this call who are carrying this weight constantly, daily, by the minute, by the second. And so as we embrace the hope of the moment, I want to challenge you all and ask you to continue to take care of self and continue to take care of community. This is a big moment, but there's still much work to do. There are injustices that unfortunately aren't videotaped. That happen on a daily basis. And that reminds us that the work, the fight, the push has to continue. The let us march on until victory is won has to continue. And so I just want to just acknowledge the moment and let you all know that we're thinking about you. We're here for you. Any way that within the Division of Student Affairs and really across campus that we can be of support that you need, just a space, just a process, not just today, but any day. Please don't hesitate, because your wellness is a priority to me. It's a priority to us. And so I just wanted to just take a few moments just to speak to the moment and let you all know that we're feeling it along with you, and know that we're here to support you, not just today, but really every day. And so I appreciate the leadership for the time.
Thank you. Thank both of you. I think I speak for everyone. We really appreciate your vulnerability and that you're okay to acknowledge your identities, even in the professions that you hold. We know that that's not always easy, so we thank you for doing that. I have a recommendation, but I will yield the chair to Pro Temp Wheeler to go into new business.
New business or unfinished business?
Unfinished business, excuse me. I do have a recommendation.
Yes, Vice President. Vice President DeVoe, your recommendation.
That's okay. Just given the heaviness I think a lot of us are feeling, if it's okay, I recommend that we only review Finance Bill numbers 2 and 3 and Senate Bill number 6, given that those are bills that need to be voted on today, but I believe that the rest can be tabled till next week. But someone can discuss and amend that motion or that recommendation when they make the motion if you choose to, but that's my recommendation.
Yes, so the senator accept that recommendation?
Senator Teddy, I accept that recommendation.
Is there a second?
Senator Goodman, I second that recommendation.
Is there any discussion? If not, and Vice President, you said review Finance Bill 2 and 3, correct?
Finance Bill numbers 2 and 3 and Senate Bill number 6.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if there's no further discussion, then we'll now move into a vote to review Finance Bill 2 and 3 and Senate Bill number 6. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining?
Ten in favor.
Thank you, Director Kapoor. With 10 in favor, the motion passes. Okay, so we'll now be looking at new business. Are there any motions on the floor?
Senator Rank, I move that we review Senate Bill number 6.
Is there a second?
Senator Kinsey, I second.
Is there any discussion? If not, then we'll now move into a vote to review Senate Bill number 6. All those in favor? And guys, you hear some background noise. My neighbors are having a party downstairs on a Tuesday for some reason. I don't know. They're just playing music real loud. Sorry about that. All opposed? Abstaining?
8 in favor.
8 in favor. Thank you. With that, the motion passes. And guys, please make sure you are voting.
Point of order. Can all senators vote before we move on?
Who is that?
Point of order. Would you like a revote or?
No, okay. Everyone please just verify that you voted. And if you didn't, vote now. And you can see the 10 in favor from before. That's where the vote starts. Thank you very much. And please make sure you're voting.
Yes, another vote count is 10 in favor. My bad, y'all. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. I don't know. It's like the chat was just in the way but anyway. Okay, all right, guys. So we're going to be talking about changes to the Student Government Association Constitution Part 2. I forgot to put in Constitution. My bad, y'all. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to try to do this as best as I can, but Advisor Judd, if I might have say any incorrect information, you'll jump in. Okay, all right, so for Article 2, Section 2, so basically this is just going to remove the Director of Campus Activities from that particular section. And this is because the campus cab will be removed, because they want to be more independent and act on their own. And now more so under SGA. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sorry, guys. Next slide. All right. I know this is a whole bunch going on, so I'm going to try and break down as much as possible. So for Article 2, Section 12, subsection F, this basically just removes the entire cab or position, like what they do and like how they're connected with SGA. That just completely removes it from this section. And it mostly like why this wants to be removed, because it consolidates the cab's information into one place while showing that the director not to report to the president of SGA. So basically all this is just being moved to another section. So it's getting taken away from here and just moved to another section. Okay, for Article 5, Section 1, again, that was just, again, being removed and then put into another section. Okay, all right, and for Article 5, again, Section 2, we're just adding in the red. So the Campus Activities Board, hereinafter referred to as CAB, shall serve as the premier programming student organization on campus. And I'm also the coordinator of campus program will create a search committee, which may include the SGA Executive Board representative. Additional committee members may be drawn from the current CAB and student activity staff. The search committee will interview candidates and select the director annually outlined by the CAB's constitution. Again, this just ensures that CAB is able to act independently because they have a separate hiring process for when they hire directors and things like that. Next slide, please. I don't know why the section isn't showing up. But again, this is under Article 5. And then what I mentioned earlier, how that section was removed, this is just putting it right here. And this just outlines, again, what CAB does. So the director of Campus Activity Board shall oversee the Campus Activities Board, report to the affairs of CAB at General Assembly, maintain information, things like that. Again, that just describes what CAB will do and its functions and things like that. And there should be one more slide. And again, because under that section, it kind of affected the freshman council. Nothing was really changed. It was more so just to keep the formatting the same and consistent. So what is being added in is that freshman council shall construct a budget from money allocated to SGA operating budget by the SGA treasurer and SGA president, function as sub-organizations operating out of the SGA, maintain their own constitutions that will be approved or denied by 2/3 majority vote of the student senate, and report to the SGA president.
And again, just to add to this for clarity, D through G, which are listed in red, are already in the Constitution. They're just, it's formatted differently. So this isn't new information that's being relayed. It's just being categorized. I think there was like a subsection under 2. So this is just giving some consistency to how it's viewed. So it's no new information being relayed here.
Yep. And why all those big changes? I know it was a lot. Again, like how I mentioned earlier, this will allow CAB to act more independently, but in adjacent with SGA. They were able, again, like their hiring process is different. Like they wouldn't have to report to the president of SGA. They'll more so be their own separate unit. And again, just change the format to make sure it's consistent with how freshman council is formatted and written. Again, no new information. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, any questions? So, Senator Rink, you have a question and a comment?
Yeah, this is more so for anyone who is like newer to the SGA, and I'm sure Advisor Judd can talk about this more so as well. This is just more of a formality in that CAB already functions pretty independently from the SGA, if I'm correct. So I'm not sure if anyone would want to like talk about that more in depth, but I know as a newer SGA member, it was a little confusing for me at first. So I think it might be beneficial to the Senate.
Sure, I can speak on some of the history if that would help members of the Senate out. Just real quickly, without getting into years past, the general functionality of CAB being the programming arm currently of SGA, but for years now, they've been more or less hiring on their own, functioning on their own, requesting or presenting budget from SGA, and then pretty much kind of going off on their own to then manage the money and program on behalf of the university. The functionality of these changes, again, with the Constitution, comes down to just more relationships over the years and making CAB a better partner with SGA. Like SGA, the leadership of CAB more or less changes each year. But there's that direct correlation of the CAB director reporting to the SGA director or the SGA president. And whenever that happens, you have relationship issues that can potentially develop. The last 2 years, the relationship between SGA and CAB has been a striving, blossoming one, which has been terrific, I think, for both parties, for both organizations. But as recently as 3 years ago, and for years before that, there has been turmoil between the two organizations, which leads to just like transition of bad ideologies and poor working relationships. And this measure just more or less allows CAB to kind of get out from under SGA, but be a better partner with them, because you remove that sort of relationship and accountability between the two organizations. The Julianne Duca, our current CAB director, I can let her speak to past experiences if you would like to actually hear like something specific. If you need that kind of description, I'll let her speak on behalf of that. But I can just say in general, when some of those bad relationships have developed, it makes for a much tougher year for both parties, as neither are functioning at their highest quality because they're dealing with each other in terms of just, again, like functionality. So again, this kind of puts CAB more under the direction of student activities and allows them to function without that sort of intervention and be the best partner to SGA in the programming sort of stance. So hopefully that's a little bit clearer. I can get into some more specifics, and I can bring in Julia to speak on some of that too. If you have some even more specific questions, we can get into some of those details, but I didn't want to spend too much time on this if that was clear enough.
Chico said, unless you have a comment, also on Vice President DeVoe, can you go back to slide number 2, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment really quickly that this is kind of like the first part of the separation. I'm not recommending anything, but just for next year, whoever would still be here, or for Advisor Bailey and everyone else, this is kind of the first part. The second part, the idea would be eventually there would be a financial separation where broad idea, don't know what's going to happen, but if it was coming from me, the idea would be SJ, we reduce our fee by a certain amount, and then CAB creates a new fee and just takes on the money that we reduced our fee by. This would allow full independence and prevents, a future like SGA administration or Senate from meddling in CAB affairs. Only because like as CAB gets more separated, I think it just makes sense to fully separate financially as well and prevent any future problems. But that's just a comment.
Thank you. Vice President, it was the slide before that one. Yeah, Justice Foreman said she wanted to see the second slide real quick. This one, correct, Justice Foreman? Okay, cool. Okay, if there's no further discussion. Okay, if there's no further discussion, then we'll vote on Senate Bill number Cinema number 3. I'm sorry, y'all. Cinema number 6. Sorry, guys. Cinema number 6 as a whole. All those in favor?
Oh, point of order. I apologize. The bills today don't have the numbers in the document, which I realized I forgot to add those. My apologies. But it's friendly to add Senate Bill number 6, and let's just assume it's friendly for all the other bills we do today.
Okay, thank you. And you're completely fine.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All opposed? Abstaining? Okay. Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. The vote count is 10 in favor. With that, the motion passes. I'm sorry, I'm just saying now that you have a comment. So sorry about that.
Okay, no, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't say it earlier, but I agree with Olivier, but I'm wondering if by taking the position out of the Executive Council, would this, I'm wondering if maybe, do they still have a voice in, like, should they still have a voice in the executive side, or like, I'm just trying to figure, would it be beneficial to still have some type of representative in the executive council from CAB?
President Young, your hand is raised.
Yeah, sorry, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that they will still be able to have their CAB representative come to every GA, correct?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage that, because I think it's important for the SGA to understand, weekly and monthly what CAB is up to, not only in the collaboration standpoint, but just to be able to relay that to the students and to be able to take comments if there's a need from the student body that CAB can help fulfill. So I think having a member there and showing some representation and sharing that is behooves both parties. So for sure.
So would we hypothetically make that a part of the job description of the CAB director, or to designate a representative to come at the VA? That's a question for anybody, by the way.
Can I respond to that, Pro Tem Wheeler?
Yes, Vice President LeBeau.
Yeah, so during the discussion in Rules Committee and some offline discussions with CAB, it came up that we could have, they have within their body, they have programmers that work within CAB outside of the executive board. And Tom, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that language, but the programmers basically could rotate through like a CAB representative. Like I'm seeing some in the comments. Yeah, like they would also be listed as an executive organization in the Constitution, like Freshman Council, for example. So they'd be able to send someone on a rotating basis like Freshman Council has done in the past. Jinx, oh, you guys are on it. So yeah, so that would be at least my suggestion on how that would look. And then the cool thing about the programming option or programmer option would be the people who are planning those specific events, they can bring, their excitement and their enthusiasm about their own events and talking about them on a rotating basis on any given week. So yeah, it would just be one kind of slot, but they'd still have a slot during GA, I would hope. Or that's how I envision that going.
Chief of Staff Emma, did you also want to add on or answer the question as well?
Sorry. Now I'm confused because we just cut all of CAB out of our Constitution. Nowhere in our Constitution now says we have a CAB rep. I'm assuming we can our next administration can just like amend the agenda just to add a CAB representative. I don't think that needs a constitutional change, but like as of right now, CAB wouldn't be in our agendas pending student approval during the election.
So, okay, I'm sorry. Pro Tem Wheeler, may I speak really quickly?
Yes, Vice President LeBeau.
Okay, there are a couple of things going on in my head, so I apologize if it sounds a bit scattered. So there's going to be a couple of amendments happening, not only to the Constitution. Like this is going to be a series of bills to make this a clean break. that sounds like a schism. Well, not really a break, but a clear change. So for example, in the standing rules of order, it outlines what our agenda looks like in GA and lists all the communications. So that would need to be a separate bill that it articulates a CAB representative in that position on the agenda, and that would have to be voted on separately, but we can only do that to one bill at a time. And then also, just to amend a little bit of what you were saying, Chief of Staff Ambush, they're still listed as an executive organization further down in the Constitution. We just showed what was taken out, not necessarily what was left during this presentation. So I hope that that makes sense. But the director position, as it currently stands, reporting to the Chief of Staff and the President, is now being taken out so that they would report internally. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, that's okay. President DeYoung, I think, has a comment, so I can yield my time, or you can take her.
Yes, President DeYoung.
I agree, Vice President DeVoe. I'm just thinking that just to kind of safeguard it, is there any possibility that we could just add the position the same way that we've had it written out for athletics representative and for tune and everything like that, just so that it's not something that can be removed later on in other administrations, if that makes sense?
Would anybody like to answer that question?
Y'all got me out here saying.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
No, it's okay. I was saying maybe we could have it still put back into the Constitution as a representative, just so that it's safeguarded in the event that there ever is an administration that would prefer to not have a CAB representative, that they still have to have a CAB representative unless they have to change the Constitution and then have that voted on. You know, like worst case scenario, we would want to have that position safeguarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 1 second. Pro Temp Wheeler, were we voting to vote? Or are we voting on the?
We already voted on the bill as a whole.
We did. Okay. So
it would have to be a separate bill.
So okay. So we'd have to go back and make amendments. But I recommend that Senator Teddy, you make a motion retroactively to break Senate rules so that we were able to review this, because it did not go through the Government Operations Committee.
So just move to break Senate rule.
Yes, I will need to do that retroactively, but thank you.
Okay, I move to break Senate rule so we can review this bill.
Senator
Ranka, second.
Is there any discussion? If not, then we'll now move into a vote to break Senate rules to review this bill. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Director Kapoor. The vote count is 10 in favor. With that, the motion passes. Senator Rink, do you have a comment?
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I understood what we were talking about before the vote to break Senate rules. We can't amend anything to the bill at this point because we voted on a whole, so we'll have to do a separate bill down the road to make this happen. If yes. That's okay, thank you.
All right, are there any motions on the floor?
I'm Senator Teddy. I move that we review Finance Bill number 2.
Is there a second?
Senator Kinsey, I second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I believe that we need to vote to break Senate rules to review this bill. It wasn't passed through probes.
Oh, okay. Then I guess we can just Senator Teddy, can you retract your motion, please?
I retract my motion.
And then Senator Knight can make the motion.
I move that we break Senate rules to review Finance Bill number 2.
Is there a second?
Senator Thaxton, I second.
Is there any discussion? If not, we'll now move into a vote to break Senate rules to review Finance Bill number 2. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. With the vote count 10 in favor, the motion passes. Okay, and Senator Rink, would you like to speak on behalf of this bill?
Yes, and I also do have research for the Senate. If I don't know if you want me to share my screen or not, but
you can, Senator Rink.
Okay, cool. Could I be made the co-host?
Chief of Staff Ambush.
Thank you. Okay. So this is the research that was provided to the to me. So this is so that Untitled, which is an a cappella group on campus, can hire a videographer to compete in a virtual a cappella sing-off. And this was the research they provided, which is the invoice for the videographer.
I guess I have a question. You said for the videographer, so is it an in-person or virtual event?
Sorry, it's virtual. So
okay.
They would be submitting the video, I assume.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? And here's the bill again.
No further discussion. Call to question.
All right, all those in Vice President, will you have a friendly amendment?
Just to remove be it further resolved, but it's friendly.
All right, all those in favor of Senate Bill number 2? Opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. The vote count is 10 in favor, which means the motion passes. Okay, are there any motions on the floor?
Senator Goodman, I move that we review Finance Bill number 3.
Is there a second?
Senator Teddy, I second.
Is there any discussion? If not, then we'll now move into a vote to review Finance Bill number 3. All those in favor? And just to reiterate what Director Kapoor mentioned in the chat, please do not vote twice. All opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. The vote count is 10 in favor. With that, the motion passes. Okay. And Senator Thaxton, would you like to speak on behalf of this bill?
Yeah, so this bill is for models of this distinction. They will be putting on a fashion show on May 8th. And due to previous issues within their organization, they did not have much money in their account. And so basically this bill is saying that the SGA will contribute $3,500 to the activities account by the activities account maximum, which is $2,500, and through an account extension. And this money will come out through the SGA discretionary fund. And below is listed some of the items that they will have to pay for. I do not have research. I believe Bryson is in here if he does have research to back up the cost.
Hello, yes, I do have research to back up the cost. I've sent them to Treasurer Yiggle, my bad. Did you receive it?
Yes. Should I share my screen or should somebody?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, this is the research that has been provided to me. It's been, it was emails back and forth with designers and Stevens Hall members for the venue. Bryson, would you elaborate on this, please?
Okay, so here in the research, we have provided the emails from the different designers, as that's how we provide research when we're asking for a budget any other semester. Since most of them are self-employed, that's how they offer their rates for their services, as well as the makeup artist and hairstylists. I had all of them send me an email giving their direct quotes of how much they charge for their services for the show. As you see right here, this is one of the hair installers for our show. She's charging $200 to install 5 wigs for our show. And all of that is listed in there for each category for designers, hairstylists, makeup artists, and the venue cost itself.
Is there any discussion? Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns, anything like that?
Do you mind bringing the document back, please?
And Senator Rank, point of information.
Yes. Was this event is going to be May 8th?
Yes.
Okay. Has it already been advertised?
Yes, it has already been advertised. Yes. I was going to say that we've been yes, we have been advertising for it, and we've been preparing for, like, we're very prepared on our end. We already have our contracts lined up with everyone that we're using their services, and also listed, you see that compared to what we've done before, most of our contracts is more extensive. So I tried to work around to get as many free services as possible. So that's why the research list is a little shorter than what usually it costs for, because it's usually a bigger list of more people being contracted, but I try to stay around our limit and everything since we are asking you guys for help.
Is there any further discussion? If Freddie, yes, if there's no further discussion, then we will vote on Senate Bill number 3 as a whole. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. The vote count is 9 in favor, 1 opposed, so the motion passes. All right, are there any announcements? She was that in which I see you thinking, so I'm gonna wait on you if you might have an announcement. Okay. If there are no announcements, then are there any motions on the floor?
Senator Teddy, if there are no announcements, I move that we adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There is one thing. It's just that, just so everyone knows, the constitutional changes made today will need to be voted on by the student body during the SGA election. So those will not go into effect until after the student body votes on it. So when you guys vote on elections, there's like a document attached and then you approve the Constitution each year. But just so people are aware of that.
Thank you, Vice President DeVoe. Director Damon, you have an announcement as well?
Yeah, just one thing, just a reminder to everyone that on the 26th, which is next Monday, Students Helping Honduras is having an Instagram live raffle. So you have up until then to like submit your raffle amounts and stuff. And there's also other additional entries that you can do by tagging people under the SHH Towson Instagram. So make sure you guys do that. It's going towards the Honduras Emergency Fund, and that's it.
Thank you, Director DMA. Are there any more announcements? Going once, twice. You got an announcement, you missed your chance. So now, but are there any motions on the floor?
Senator Thaxton, I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Senator Dixon, I second.
Is there any discussion? If not, then we'll now move into a vote to adjourn. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. The vote count is 10 in favor. With that, the motion passes. You guys are free to go.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Felly, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
So quick question, because it was approved, so now they'll just get the 3,500 plus the 3,000 for the event.
Yes, 3,000.
Wasn't it or was it 2,500? One of them.
Oh, you're talking about the Just Do It grant. Yes, it was, that one was 2,500 and this one is 2,500, 3,500 for this one right here. Yeah.